Now, obviously, this is about 500, 600. Ooh, okay. It's global, remember. Okay, okay. Okay, take it, take it, take it. Yeah. Oh, that was so fun. Oh, that was really enjoyable. So this player is the only player that seems to be having any success with BRIAR Jungle. 71% win rate in about 25 odd games. More games than most people have played. And considering she has a 35% win rate, runes on your screen now. This is what this player uses. That's a pretty good win rate when you're over double what it is. Now, the issues kind of stem from people not understanding the nuances in the kit. Simple when you read it and look at it. And then you go into depth on the abilities and the items and everything and you're like, that's actually not so simple. A lot of it stems from the W. People press it, they go into Berserk, they get stuck in it, and the E is the only thing that can cancel it, and they don't E. Or they E before they get to repress the W. What does a repressing of the W do, you ask? That's what heals you and does a missing percentage HP button, right? So that's your pseudo execute plus your heal. And when you don't W2, that's when you get problems. The W1 is great, right? You get attack speed, you get movement speed, you self-taunt to the nearest enemy. Thumbs up, all cool. But the W2 is where you really want to be activating that, and you don't necessarily always want to be canceling the Berserk unnecessarily. Now, also worth noting is that people are not opening with Q or thinking about Q in that way at all. Why is that important? Because it has armor penetration, my friends. Percentage armor gets shredded, and that scales up to 26% when you max it. And the cooldown has a nice scaling too, which is why you max it second. And just to go back, 221 crossing from blue side to red side, I do like to always point that out because it's important when you're practicing your clears. Now, normally in this gameplay review channel, we look around and we actually analyze high elo gameplay, but in this particular case, I'm keeping the camera on the BRIAR so you can follow her around. Now, the question obviously is, we have a Xin Zhao against us who's full clearing, and you can see the timer, right? Look where the Xin Zhao is. He's on his wolves, and we are a little bit afraid here of the invade, but she is typically a full clearing jungler because we want to put 2 points into the W before we go fisting. You can red side quadrant into action, but typically that's what I'm seeing. The E here, that's what you just saw there, knocking back the Krugs into the wall. You're going to get bonus damage, you're going to stun them, and obviously that's also what heals you and gives you damage resistance, right? No, damage resistance is not the term, we'll call it a damage reduction, right? Yeah, damage reduction, there we go. And so basically, you're channeling that, slowing yourself, and the longer you channel it, the more benefits you get from it in terms of your stuns and your slows. So in this particular case, it seems quite simple. Why are people struggling to execute on this champion? Order of events, when to use abilities, and obviously the ultimate. That's the thing that you press, it makes you fly across the map, right? We'll have a look at that. But it makes you enter a state of amplified Berserk, right? So when you press W, you're Berserk and you're taunted, self-taunted to a nearby target. The R, more so, right? And you hunt them until death. So while you do get bonus stats, basically you see there, you get bonus physical damage, you get bonus armor magic resist, you get bonus lifesteal, 10% lifesteal. That's great, but people are not using this button correctly and understanding how it works. So this player is going to show us all. Now, we know the Xin Zhao starts on the top side. You see that, you see what happened here. We're going to watch this again in slow motion. We'll cover the abilities in slow-mo. Nice E knockback into the wall here. Look at the skirmishing that just happened. So we're going to go into slow motion for this replay because we finished at 334 on the Scuttle Crab, same time as the Xin Zhao. That's not terrible. We can clear a lot faster, but we're going to use our Q to gap close here because it's a leap. We're going to activate our Berserk in the meantime. We're going to get the stun there from that, obviously, because the Q does stun. And now, basically, we're stuck in this Berserk auto-attacking phase. We want to be able to recast this as low as HP as possible to get the bonus missing HP damage effect and, of course, heal us. We're stuck to this. We get knocked up by the Xin Zhao, and he thinks maybe I can win. But, and we'll get to the passive in a second, first she channels her Scream to knock him back into the wall, and this guy is like, holy shit, that was a lot of damage, I have to leave the situation, which, of course, he does quickly. And that's because BRIAR heals with her passive. And why are you here? If you want help implementing this information into your own game, I have a free jungle improvement resource and a dedicated program where we have jungle video courses, jungle coaching, coaching VOD libraries, weekly coaching classes, Q&As, patch note rundowns, private high elo streams, as well as a private jungle Discord. And I know how to make junglers convert from low elo to gold to emerald to diamond to master plus. If you want to climb faster than anybody you know, jungle diff every game you play, head to virkayu.gg. They don't know what she does, and people don't know what she does either. So let's go back again and watch that again in slow motion. Not slow motion, but a lot quicker. We have, for some reason, a little blank face checking at BRIAR here. Cooldowns quite high, which is why we max W into Q. We obviously have here the dash with the Q. We have the W, and then of course we can flash, recast, and kill her, especially seeing as she was low HP. In the meantime, Xin Zhao is over here dying, so we'll just ignore that because apparently he's not interested in jungling. But look at the self-taunt here, right? You can see how it works. We just stay on the Berserk, we get our W2 obviously as well, and now we finish off the Scuttle Crab also. We look bottom lane and we see here Aziri super low. Do we want to maybe do something about this? Probably. Why? Because Xin Zhao is going to go to the top side 100%. Let's see how we use our abilities in tower diving situation. Obviously, Rakan is showing up, and now you look at the wave and you're like, actually, I don't know. You can see maybe it's warded. Let's see if Rakan actually does something here. Whoa, close. And so we know the Xin Zhao is definitely going to be on the bottom side here, and BRIAR is going to be coming out of base with an Iron Spike whip. So when we talk about the passive, all attacks, I'll put it up for you if you want to read as well, that's a Q. All attacks, abilities, basic attacks, and otherwise, they apply a bleed to targets. That stacks 9 times, and you heal for that damage. Pre-mitigation, obviously, because otherwise it would be kind of sucky. That pre-mitigation basically means damage that's applied before it gets reduced from armor and magic resistance. In this particular case, you get bonus healing when you're below 50% HP. Absolutely good to know. Like Warwick, right? You want to know your limitations when it comes to your passives and your healing. You see there the W, we're going to leap a little bit and go over to the Wolves camp, and we'll do that as well. Because Garen's shoved in here by the Quinn, as we transition a bit more to game theory, we know the Xin Zhao's taking this, he's going to loop back and do this. He could cut in and do this, otherwise he could cut in and invade us here if he has prio, or he could just sequence and lane gank and counter. Those are all possibilities. We don't know exactly what he's going to do yet. LeBlanc has prio, so she has warded. There we go, we see on our screen now. And that's about where we stand with the champion thus far. The most important lesson I want you to note from this video, that you will not see from other players and things like that, firstly, is the usage of the map scaling here, okay, that allows us to leap and go berserk. Secondly, it also allows us, well, the Q allows us to leap to target. The issue is they don't go fighting for the Scuttle Crab like that way because they don't use the abilities in the correct order. And that's why I slowed it down to show you how this BRIAR shit on a Xin Zhao in the river at level 4. Huge. And now, as we transition to a regular situation, oh look, the enemy jungler did what we expected here. We press Berserk to the nearest enemy, prioritizing champions. We then Q to get our magic shred as we go in. Beautifully done, very, very easy. Free kill. How quick did he die? Iron Spike Whip. And here's the thing. High cooldowns, okay. High cooldowns. Obviously the E was buffed to go from 18 flat to 16 flat. So that's now 16 seconds, as you can see, not 18 seconds. You're looking at something that wants to heal through her attacks and bleed and apply that bleed passive, so we need attack speed. We have good AD scalings on our Q as well as on all our auto attacks plus our W, and obviously that gets amped up from the R, so we kind of want to, you know, there is AP scalings here, but not in any meaningful way. I mean, maybe like there's a Nash's Tooth off meta build, but typically when you have attack speed healing components, the AP variants aren't as good because, you know, AD scales with attack speed. Every auto attack does more AD, so it's useful. And basically, you're looking at an item with Stridebreaker that gives you a bit of everything. Now, people have said, well, couldn't you go Trinity Force as well? You could. Why is that important to know? Because W is going to apply your Sheen proc, all right? And you're going to W2 having a missing HP button, a healing button, applying Sheen button, and if you stack up your Trinity Force, a passive that gives you more AD button. So everything's just amplified. But there is a thing. The thing is, Trinity Force does 20, or has 20 less AD than Stridebreaker, 60 to 40. That's a no-brainer to me, because you're basically trading in the passive stacking on the Trinity Force, which of course was nerfed, with the all AD. We hit the R to the top line, here we go, it misses, that's unlucky. So, try not to do too many Ashe ult throws. It can work very well if you hit it and it looks hero, but at the same time, you don't want to waste it, because now they know exactly where you are, and 2, it's better to use it in more close proximity situations where you can actually guarantee the hit, because that's really what you want to do, because it's in a heightened Berserk button, right? It's like your W on steroids in a very literal sense, and it gives you more lifesteal. Again, the attack speed. So, Stridebreaker gives us the health to survive. Okay, I just wanted to cover this because the Xin Zhao goes down to the bottom side here and grabs himself a snack. You know, eventually he's going to get stuff, but we focus on what we need to focus on. So, the health component as well, Stridebreaker having health is important because your E, your healing here, you'll notice, restoring to 121%, 121 flat at this point, plus 10% health scaling. So the health is important. So you need items that give you a little bit of everything, and for me, the Blade of the Ruined King builds, I get the lifesteal, the sustain, right? I get it, I understand it, but it just doesn't feel as good It hasn't looked as good overall, but it is a thing you can do. So we do press the Berserk button. We obviously get our W there afterwards, and now we can keep attacking. We're stuck, we're stuck, we're stuck, we're stuck, we're stuck. We're going to use our E. We're going to miss our E. We channel, we're slow. We get nearsighted here. Is this the one death we have? We do have Berserk up again. I was kind of hoping we could turn it, but this is the only death in the game. So this is where people are dying, right? We'll go back again and watch that. I think it's important. Normally, I don't go back so much on this channel, but in this particular case, I think it's important to realize that. So we want to clean up the Quinn, okay? We're going to obviously press our W. We dash, and now we're Berserk, okay? We're getting close here, so we're going to leap now. We'll apply our armor penetration for all our attacks, which is great. We get knocked back by the Quinn. We flash in. We're going to keep trying to auto-attack and keep trying to get our W2, which we already used, as you would have noticed. The E makes us still slowed. We heal. We restore health. Cool. We have damage reduction. Cool, but in the end, Quinn, good champion design. Actually, Quinn's actually pretty good at the moment. You can probably enjoy a lot of games with Quinn. Just a secret pick, not for junglers, although you could, for more top laners. Then again, Syndra wants to make my point. No, she doesn't. Okay, well, almost. So that's our one death. Now we have Stridebreaker. This is the first thing. What's the next core itemization that we're likely to see? This player basically has Black Cleaver as almost a standard item at this particular stage. There is flexation into the Trinity Force. There is flexation into the Gore Drinker. Gore Drinker is really, really good for the same reasons as Stridebreaker, except it gives you heal, and it's obviously better when Gore Drinker is better than Stridebreaker on Hecarim or anybody else. Low range melee comes where you actually fisting can get a huge amp up on that Gore Drinker heal. If you need a bit of the slow, you need a bit of this active right here. It slows them by 40% for 3 seconds. You obviously get the damage. Cool, right? Like, then you go that by, basically, I would say you go that standard because you have all the itemizations. We do hit our R here. We're going to fly in and get our first look at the Berserk button. Obviously, we fear everybody else around us. We chase them until death at this particular stage. She uses her E to cancel that, right? Cancels the Berserk button because if you don't, you're going to keep going, chasing them until death or chasing whatever target you press. So, that was a good use of the R there. We go in, we burn sums, we don't kill any. Well, we killed the Rakan, but we don't kill the Zeri. Now we're going to Berserk here as well. We'll kill the clone, because why not? And this is a great example of BRIAR being used properly with the abilities in the correct order. Using your W to dash, activate the Berserk, make sure that Q is able to hit, and then using the E properly. When to knock back into a wall like level 4. When to use it just to regenerate and use damage reduction. She can't be squishy. You can't be blown up. You have no health regeneration, and all your spells cost health. Whew. So, simple champion, but not so simple, you understand? And that's where you're getting a 35% win rate. This player is the only one that I've seen that is playing normally, honestly. Jungling properly, making good decisions within the jungle time frame. Obviously, minus pathing here, be very careful about being seen as you cross. We do have a Herald. We lost the dragon. Oh, we took the dragon, sorry, but we know we're not really tracking the Xin Zhao is more my point, because he's out of the game. You know, he got a couple assists and he's got the same CS, but we're dominating. 71% win rate in 20 plus games on a champion freshly released, double the win rate. This is why. So, we have 4 points in W at this particular stage. Cooldown for reference, 9.1 seconds. Cooldown for reference, 2 points in Q, 10 seconds. This scales at this particular stage all the way down to 9, the base value. Now it's 7.5 with haste. So, W into Q into E. Hopefully all those abilities make sense. Now we're shadowing this. We've seen this in my private Virkayu.gg Discord with someone doing this power thing the other day. The pet does show briefly. It is a LeBlanc that is tough. And of course we see the enemy jungler in the bottom side. We have 2 minutes left of plates. So I wanted to show this from her perspective because as she was about to fly in, which you would have seen, I like activating the Herald here to shove for Dragon Prior. But in this situation, we have an ult that allows us to go in. So Brian hits the R. He's going to fly in now. We're going to have a fear if everybody's around there, but they're not. So we get the kill on the Rakan. Cool. LeBlanc comes over the wall. We press the W to go berserk on her. We use our our E to cancel and knock back the Xin Zhao, who tries to knock back people himself. And now the Xin Zhao is going to turn back in. Yes, he does. We're going to W to berserk to Q, and then we're going to get to kill with a W2. That was a W2 just popping off right there. W2, snack attack, missing HP, goodbye. Also a lot of healing. And we have a Soraka. And for some reason, no one on the team has any grievous wounds yet. Well, I would probably have grievous wounds at this stage. You could probably stack a 10k stat on your grievous wounds item in this game alone. Yet people don't buy it. It's fine, you do it. We do activate the Herald now. We get some plate cash money gold. We're going to take the Ocean Dragon, which is disgusting. Rakan shows up, so we press W on that sucker. And we're going to keep attacking him a little bit. We'll just finish this off. Thank you so much. We'll clear this vision. LeBlanc is back in lane. Enemy jungler should, in theory, go topside. No reason for him to come and collapse here. He could, but I don't see why he would. And we'll finish off the Scuttle Crab as well. In pocket, we have 2.2k gold cash money nuggets. Let's go back to base and spend thus. An honorable jungler. You can play Briar and you're honorable. Who are you? It's a rare combination, trust me. Don't see that a lot on junglers. Xin Chao's now topside, as we expect. We see that. Ult cooldown ratio at this particular stage, 92 seconds. All abilities cost 6% HP, by the way. And it's current HP, not bonus or max or whatever. Can you imagine? That'd be so terrible. Current HP, so it does scale a little bit in that way. Throw our R here. Oh, that hit. Good night. Bye-bye. There you go. Empowered Berserk. Chase you to death. You're dead. Now it's not looking so difficult, is it? So hopefully, through this video, watching this jungler play, fused with a little bit of jungling knowledge, you're seeing a lot how to actually play her and why certain itemization is good. We have Warhammer here, and again, like you're looking at Strikebreaker. Attack damage is high. Attack speed is high. 375 HP for no reason they buffed us. 20 ability haste. Everything she needs. And obviously gives every single other legendary item 2% movement speed. So hopefully one of the items they keep when they remove Mythics is Strikebreaker. Remove the passive, obviously, because you don't need the bonus movement speed in a world without Mythics. But that's, like, I want that. It's a good item in a world where melees can struggle. W into Q again, as always, because we go Berserk, and before we hit, we Q, so we get the armor penetration. Works and everything. Don't waste your E in the jungle. Like with Warwick, I see this even from high elo players sometimes. They're just wasting high cooldown spells in the jungle for literally zero reason. And now you gotta rotate to something, and you gotta wait for it, and it compromises you. Compromises you hugely. With 512, we think he might be on the Herald. We might have a sneak of that. So again, once more, Berserk into W. Well, Berserk is W, so. W into Q, into auto attacks, into your W2. That's what we like. Press it again. We're going to go into the Quinn here. We have R in 9 seconds. Keeping our E is the most important thing here. W over the wall, straight back onto the Herald. So I do advise most of you go to practice tool, see where you can W over walls, because it's important. The biggest thing I think for reference point here is when they reworked Aatrox, and his E is like very small, and people just didn't know where they could E over walls. So you would see people, high elo streams, just going to practice tool, every wall, every angle, Eing around his Aatrox. See here, I probably just stayed for the scuttle because I'm a greedy sumbitch, and I just want all scuttles. Also, it gives me close to 11, plus a little bit extra cash money. And, you know, maybe that allows me to finish another component, a phage or a longsword or some wards or something like that. And it denies the Scuttle Crab. We'd still be back in the field here, and we'd still be able to get to our red buff. And we're not losing any tempo because there's no dragon. There's no herald. We have it. So I think here you could definitely stay and finish off the Scuttle Crab. And also, by the way, you beat 11. So now you're probably likely to need to rotate. And we have our second ultimate level up, which is cool. And fun and enjoyable. So we'll snack that up now. 042 Xinqiao with a Gore Drinker, like that's gonna do anything. Grievous Wounds, check. Nada. Now obviously this is about 500-600. Ooh, okay. It's global, remember. Okay, okay. Okay, take it, take it, take it. Yeah. Oh, that was so fun. Oh, that was really enjoyable. And with remember, you get the bonus snack attack as well. So yeah, that was good. I'm glad we got to see a cross-map Briar Ultimate in a high yellow gameplay video. You don't always see that. Yeah. Coaching channel, they hit the globals. They don't hit it so much in this yellow. Do you really want to take this fight here? He does, actually. Let's see what happens. We have our E, so we're going to knock him back and stun him. We'll just auto-attack until our ability is up. We have our Berserk, which we can, of course, press. W2 with the Garen Ultimate equals a dead Xinqiao. Now we're going to do a little dash with our Berserk. We're going to chase down the Zeri here. We do have Q up, which we're able to use. The stun does go through. We're chasing. And the Rakan is knocked back a little bit. And one more kill. There we go. We'll flash and hit that Berserk button. Now Zeri's still alive here. Well, Berserk's up now, excuse me. LeBlanc split pushing. Herald's hitting the top lane here. We'll just leave. Yeah, I can do that. I can do that. We can leave. I think it's falling apart for red team. Sorry, I'm just like looking at the map. All right. 814. Oh, cross map again? No. Try to time it with her distortion. That's a tough one. If that hit, I would have been literally mesmerized. So, we do have enough for Black Cleaver, obviously. Death Stance is a button. Is an ability that you can go, although while it's not necessary, I think the Black Cleaver, the Stride, basically the Stride and the Gore and the Trinity, these all work. You can weave in a Blade, although I don't see why you do need it. As you can see here, I always do prefer a bit more amp on my spells. Hello LeBlanc, are we going to turn around here? We have to wait for a W, obviously. Because that cooldown, for reference at this stage, is at 6.45 seconds. So now we want to play this properly here. We don't have ultimate, obviously, because we just chucked it. We do get hit by the Xin Shao button. Quinn is top lane, so we have numbers advantage. This should be free for us. They might try and contest, but that should be okay. Again, with Berserk here, you have W2 Smite, which is absolutely huge. We can also just... That can also happen, I guess. But yes, W2 Smite. Use that combo nicely. Missing HP, always an important thing when you're comboing with Smites. So try and time that accordingly. But look, attack speed goes up. Movement speed goes up. Area damage AD ratio goes up. You can see there are damage, healing, cooldown. So all of these things are hit with Stridebreaker, with, you know, to a lesser degree, Gore Drinker, obviously minus the attack speed. And so those are the kinds of things we look for when we try to theory craft champions, right? What's the spell we max? How can we maximize everything we need as much as possible without wasting gold? And that's why I feel like the Blade, while it has a position, and you can do it, some of the best builds do have Blade integrated within. I don't think it's necessary. And I do think people are getting baited a little bit by it, and as a consequence, become insanely squishy. Because without that HP, your E is definitely not going to do as much, right? This is a 10% scaling on your bonus HP, so you want that for your E to also give you more survivability. And again, that's why it was hotfixed and buffed, right? Because she was dying because she was too squishy, but that's also because people are building wrong. Ooh, hello! Can I actually... Really? Let's just finish off this fight here, because this should be absolutely free. Oh, it's not. Ult is up. See, here you can just use ult to finish. Well, you know, we hit a cross mapper, so that's okay. Okay, here you go. So this wall, for reference point also, watch, there you go, there's a W, over it, nice dash with Berserk, and now we can Q again onto the LeBlanc. Make sure you smite her to slow her as well if you want to stick to her after your Stride Break, so you can try and stack those things together. See, Stride Break active for slow, then smite for slow. We're still Berserk here. We will have another use of it right now, which of course we do, but we need to hit the ultimate to kill her as it comes up, and we were unable to hit it, but that's okay. Maybe could have used E, but it's a LeBlanc, so they get quite shifty. In the meantime, Garon is boiling water on the bottom side of the map, or has he figured out what temperature that is yet? Spin, spin, and Quinn. Briar says, yo, can I get in on this fight? No R. See, now it would be nice to have R. Could have hit a big fear and actually seen the fear component, but most people are going to, well, not fear, I keep saying fear, it's a flee. Okay, now we're stuck in a fight, so now we use our E to disengage everybody from us so we can go straight back on the guy who's still on us, and he dies from balls to the face. And there you go, good use of the E to disengage. Hey, a Baron's available. Does anyone want to do that? I'm pretty sure we can do that at this stage. In the meantime, yeah, we're shadowing. I think we could have maybe shadowed up top originally, rather than go down to Baron. Grouping up, this is what we want to see, what we can do. Use our lead to close games out. We're 8-1-6. We have 14 out of 18 KP. It's really been the jungle diff. Our ADC is 0-4-8. And again, like, she wants to fall back to Baron, but the team doesn't, so you can't always overly force it. Sits in the flank. Ult hits. We're going to take this. There we go. There's the flee from the Rakan. We'll get the knockback onto the Quinn there. See, good use of that knockback as well. Good. R in. Knockback. We call that an insec. Bloodsec? I don't feel like insec is the right word for it. Well, they call it the Shurima Shuffle, so someone should think of an RE, and now everyone falls back to Baron. So yeah, I mean, I think we could call that a Bloodsec. That's pretty good. I like it. In the meantime, we can do this easily with Garen and Soraka. Vayne, I don't even need Soraka, actually. Nice scout of the week into a dead guy. We have here Zeri top lane. This has been a really good game of control, and in the other game I looked at that I almost chose, there was a Silas mid, but I wanted a game where we had the most damage by far, and we controlled the game. And when you have a mid laner roaming around with your support roaming around with you, it can distort one's power. But in this particular case, hey, somersaults, this was very much just Briar taking over, right? This is Briar taking out the enemy jungler at an early skirmish, using the W for Berserk into the Q and just getting that kill, using the E perfectly. Oh, take it, whee, boom! We're Berserk, we're going to chase until death. Obviously, we have our W, which we use there. We have our Q from that W of the Stride Breaker, and that's a dead person as well. W2 is important. And saving your E for the right moment is very, very crucial. I think the E is trapping a lot of people as well. We're going to Berserk into a Q there as well. And now we're still Berserk. We have our Smite. Obviously, Stridebreaker will be up. Well, we used it, and we just get the kill there as well from the W2. E, nothing. But you're seeing it's quite simple once you break it down, slow it down as much as I could, and see examples of it, right? You go Berserk, you use your Q, you have auto attacks in the meantime, you get W2 for your execute, and you can use your E to cancel when necessary, or use it for insects in your ult, and etc., and so on and so forth. Meantime, we got 2 people top lane, 3 people top lane, excuse me, although I don't know if we can count Zeri as a person. Champion is, even a 0% win rate will annoy us. Bit of terror damage, a little bit of movement speed as well here. Remember, it leaps to a target. Q leaps to a target, whereas W is just a dash. Makes you berserk with the dash. Nice E against the wall, though. Shoots the R. Does it hit? No, it doesn't. No, it's unlucky. Like, share, and comment if you enjoyed this jungler, because they're not flawed on this champion, I can tell you that much. Really well played, good itemization choices. We have the DD here, the Black Cleaver, as you can see. The DD definitely is not mandatory, but it's good, right? It's definitely good. And against high burst comps, then a Sterex is huge. You don't have to go DD, go Sterex in this case. Stridebreaker, Black Cleaver, Sterex, good as well. Keep experimenting though, try different combinations of the items. This is by no means the only way to play the champion. I just wanted to illustrate why I think this player is doing so well. Jungle-wise and BRIAR-wise. I thought it was BRIAR, actually. BRIAR, but it's apparently BRIAR, so... Well, sucks to be me, I guess. Thanks very much for watching. Virkayu for your jungle knowledge and courses. And as always, I will see you all in the next Blood Sack. Not Blood Sack.